I think I convinced myself that you wouldn't love me anymore, if you knew.
Are you insane? I will always love you. You're my best friend. Tell me everything. Tell me all about this chick you're in a relationship with, I demanded excitedly. Hannah told me all about how they met and that it started very slowly. She explained that she was unsure of her own feelings and couldn't gauge how the other chick would react if she knew about her feelings towards her. I was still in shock after the tale, but my comedic side took over as it did when I was feeling overwhelmed. Can I ask you a serious question?
Anything.
Can I still call you Hannah Banana? Hannah Vagina doesn't sound as good. A few nights later, after a long ER shift, I was driving home when my gas light came on. I should have gotten gas before I went to work. The hospital was located in a nice part of town, but after dark, the neighborhood got a little sketch. It was almost 2 in the morning, but I pulled into the next gas station I saw. I prepaid at the pump because I didn't want to have to walk past the 2 men who were standing by the front door. I heard the catcalls, but didn't even look in their direction. It was humid out tonight, and I could hear the loud thump of music being played out of someone's trunk. The damn prepaid option wouldn't work, so I walked quickly inside to pay. When I came out of the store, I saw a group of guys sitting on the bed of a big truck, drinking. I heard a loud clash of cans hit the ground behind me, and I started to walk faster towards my car. I was already exhausted from work, and I didn't have the energy to deal with foolishness. Major was with Pop tonight, which meant I would have the rest of the evening to myself. I put the nozzle into my tank and began to pump.
Hey there, pretty lady.
I heard someone say from behind me. I turned around and a man was standing there, smiling. He was wearing white, paint-splattered clothes and old, beat-up black work boots. He took a few wobbly steps and wedged himself between me and the pump. Have your friends take you home? You're drunk.
What's your name, darlin'?
He asked as he swayed back and forth. My name is. Leave me the fuck alone.
You're too cute to use that sort of language, little lady,
he said as he leaned in close enough for me to smell the liquor on his breath. Move out of my way, asshole, I shouted as his buddies gathered around us.
Come on, Jack. She ain't interested.
I heard one of them say behind my right shoulder.
Yes, she is. She's just playing hard to get.
Listen to your friends, Jack. I can assure you I'm very, very uninterested, I hissed as I attempted to reach for the gas hose to disengage it from my tank.
This one is tough, fellas. Do you like it rough, honey?
He whispered it, taking another step closer to me. My heart was pounding now from adrenaline, and I wasn't sure how I was going to get out of this. I reached into my pocket and pressed the alarm button on my key fob. It startled him so much that he jumped back. I pressed the button again to silence the loud honking and proceeded to walk past him.
Well, that wasn't very nice,
he said, grabbing a handful of my vagina as I went by. Even though he was shit-faced, I knew without a shadow of a doubt that he was bigger and stronger than me. I pulled my mace out, flicked the top, and blasted him. The orange mist shot right into his face, and he started to cough.
You stupid bitch!
He shouted and swung both arms out in retaliation. At least one of his closed fists connected with my jaw. It was a loud smacking sound, and it echoed through my head. The pain was immediate, and when I reached up to grab my mouth, he locked his filthy arms around me. He had me in some sort of drunken bear hug and was squeezing me as tight as he could. I squealed like a baby pig, and when my feet lifted off the ground, I started to kick. My eyes were watering from the pain, and every time I tried to take a breath, I too was inhaling pepper spray. It burned my eyes and stung my throat, dulling my shouts for him to release me. I looked up and saw a slimly built man in a black hoodie walking quickly in our direction. I saw the yellow pull strings bounce up and down as he approached faster now, with his head down. My mind flashed to all the awful things that they could do to me. Rape me? Kill me? Everything went out of my mind, and I saw Major's smiling face. I must have blacked out due to the lack of oxygen because when I opened my eyes, I was on the ground. I rolled over coughing and saw the man in the hoodie squaring off with my attacker. As I sat up, the drunk guy was yelling curses. In the blink of an eye, the man in the hoodie roundhouse kicked the drunk guy right in the face. It was literally in slow motion, and I saw teeth fly from his mouth. The hoodie guy hit him again, this time with a lightning-fast right hook, and I got misted with a spray of blood. I wiped my face and got to my feet. The drunk man was getting the beating of a lifetime, taking several blows to the face and stomach. I felt no sympathy for him at all. The drunk man finally had a chance to retaliate, and when he swung a weighted fist, the guy in the hoodie grabbed him by the wrist, spun him around, and broke his elbow. The crunching sound came before the scream, and I felt my stomach churn. As a victim, I was cheering for the other guy, but as a nurse, I knew that he'd be feeling that broken elbow more in the morning. I didn't even realize I'd made a sound until the man in the hoodie stopped and looked right at me. When I took a step back, he took off running as the drunk guy's buddies ran over to console him. I jumped into my car quickly and peeled off. I was shaky the whole ride home, but I managed to get into my house and calm myself down. When I was more settled, I called Devin and told him everything that had just happened. With the turn of events, I was again reminded how quickly life happened, and that anyone's life could be taken in the blink of an eye. For the next few weeks, I vaguely hinted to Devin that if he asked to marry me, I wouldn't say no. Instead of having Thanksgiving dinner at my grandmother's house this year, we all gathered at mine. The house was very warm, since we'd been baking all day, but the delicious smells that wafted out made up for it. I invited Pop, but he told me he was having dinner at his girlfriend's house this year, and I understood. Our relationship had remained strong throughout everything we'd been through together, and he was still a constant in both mine and Major's life. It was just like it had been when I was a teenager, except now we are all old enough to drink alcohol. My mom, Hannah, and I cooked and conversed while Devin entertained Major and my grandmother for the main part of the day. After we feasted, we all sat in the living room and Major fell asleep on my lap. A Christmas movie was on TV, but the only person really watching it was my grandma.
Sweetheart, don't you want to put Major in his bed?
My mom asked, winking at me. Okay, I said, getting up thinking she had something she wanted to tell me in private. When I came back down the hallway, everyone was standing, and Hannah had her phone out facing it towards me. "Why are you recording?" I asked, slinging my hair behind my ears. Devin came out of the kitchen holding a box in his hand and walked up to me.
Right, love. I'm not going to faff about, so bear with me, yeah? I've been working up the bottle to say this for ages. You know I'm not exactly Shakespeare, but I'll give it a proper go.
He chuckled a bit nervously.
From the moment I clocked eyes on you, I knew I was done for. Proper gone, head over heels. And since then, you've been my sunshine on the grim days, my best mate, my safe place. I mean it. You're my whole world, babes.
He stopped to take a deep breath.
Look, I know I leave me socks everywhere and I still don't know how to stack the dishwasher properly, but I'd walk through fire, queue at the post office, and even give up me last biscuit. All for you.
My eyes got wide when it suddenly hit me as it took me a minute to decode his English slang.
So here goes. You're the love of my bloody life. Will you do me the biggest honor and make me the luckiest geezer on the planet? Will you marry me, Haley?
He asked shakily and opened the box. I stood there for a moment and stared at the ring. It had a silver band and 3 round stones. It was very pretty, and I knew Devin would be a good role model for Major, so I said yes.